Good morning to all. 7th standard biology. In previous session we studied the respiration in organism. The cellular respiration, aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and also breathing. Okay, today's topic we goes to how do we breathe. Okay, breathe means one inhalation plus one exhalation. Okay, breathing is a continuous process which goes on all the time and throughout life and that of our other animals as well as plant. Okay. Today we studied the mechanism of breathing. Okay. Breathing rate means children in breathing rate 20 to 30 times per minutes. Okay. The process of breathing takes place in our lungs. Okay. The process of breathing takes place in our lungs. It is surrounded the chest cavity. Lungs are connected to our nostril. Holes in the nose through nasal passage or nasal cavity and also windpipe. Okay, lungs are connected to our nostril, holes in the nose. Okay, the nostril is present, holes in the nose through nasal passage or nasal cavity and also windpipe. You see the picture. Okay. When we inhale air, it enters our nostril, passes through the nasal passage and windpipe and reaches our lungs. Okay. When inhale air, the inhale plus exhale is equivalent to breathe. Okay. When we inhale air, it enters our nostril, passes through nasal passage and windpipe and reaches our lungs. Okay. Our two lungs hang in an airtight space in our body called chest cavity. Around the sides of the chest cavity is a rib cage with sheets of muscles between the ribs. Okay. The rib cage encloses the lungs in it. The rib cage encloses lungs in it. At the bottom of the chest cavity is curved a sheet of muscle called diaphragm, the last part. Okay. Breathing involves the movement of the rib cage and diaphragm. Okay. Breathing in. When we breathe, inhale in, then two things happen at the same time. Okay. Listen, the first one, muscles between inhale. The first picture, you see the first picture. The muscle between the ribs contract, causing the rib cage to move upward and outward, and the diaphragm contract and moves downwards. The upward and outward movement, the rib cage as well as downwards movement of diaphragm, both increase the space of chest cavity. Okay, and make it larger. As the chest cavity becomes larger, air is sucked in from outside into the lungs. The lungs get filled up with air and expand. Okay, the lungs is expand due to the inhale air. Okay, breathing out. The second one, When we breathe out, then two things happen at the same time. First one, muscle between ribs relaxed, causing the rib cage to move downwards and inward, and the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards. Okay, the downwards and inward movement of rib cage as well as the upward movement of diaphragm both decrease the space in the chest cavity. It decreases the space in the chest cavity. Okay. Next, that can make it smaller. As the chest cavity becomes smaller, air is pushed out from the lungs. Okay. Push out from the lungs. Different people can expand their chest by different amount. A simple activity. We can measure the maximum expansion in the chest size as follows. First, measure the size of chest with a measuring tape while holding breathe. Okay, listen. While holding breathe. After exhaling normally, then take a very deep breath so as to cause maximum expansion in chest. Okay. Hold the breath for a while and measure the size of the chest in this expanded position. The difference in the two readings of the measuring tape will give the maximum expansion in the size of the chest, which can be brought about it. Okay. Next we see a simple activity, the mechanism of breathing. The mechanism of breathing. A big bell jar is taken. The bell jar is a glass jar whose bottom is open. A glass tube branching into two smaller tubes at its lower end is fitted to the mouth of the bell jar with the help of a cork. Okay, two balloons are tied at the two ends of the tube. A thin rubber sheet is tied around the open bottom of the bell jar. Okay, listen. A big bell jar is taken. A glass tube branching into two smaller tubes at its lower end is fitted. You see the picture. Okay, fitted in the mouth of the bell jar with the help of a cork. Two balloons are tied to the two ends of the tube. Okay, two balloons are tied at the two ends of the tube. The tube is Y-shaped. Okay, a thin rubber sheet is tied around the open bottom of the bell jar. In this apparatus, the space inside the bell jar represents the chest cavity. In this apparatus, the space inside the bell jar represents chest cavity. The balloon represents lungs, whereas the rubber sheet represents diaphragm. Okay, listen carefully. The space inside the bell jar represents chest cavity. In human beings, chest cavity. The balloon represents the lungs, where the rubber sheet represents the diaphragm. Okay. To show the process of breathing in air, we pull the rubber sheet downwards. In the case, the space in the bell jar increases. Okay. Lowering air pressure inside the bell jar. The air from outside rushes in through the tube into balloons, due to which the balloon get inflated. The size increases. This shows the action of diaphragm during inhaling of air. Okay. Then the second one to show the process of breathing out of air. We release the rubber sheet. When we release the rubber sheet, the space in the bell jar decreases. The air from inside the balloon goes out through the tube, due to which the balloons get defaulted. This shows the action of diaphragm during exhaling of air. Okay. When the diaphragm moves downwards during inhaling, the lungs get filled with air. But when the diaphragm moves upwards during exhaling, then the air is forced to go out of the lungs. Okay. Air which we breathe during respiration. The air which we breathe in from the atmosphere is called inhaled air, and the air which we breathe out from our lungs through nose or mouth is called exhaled air. Okay. The only difference in the inhaled air and exhaled air is they contain different proportion of oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. Okay. In case of oxygen, you listen, the case of oxygen, the air which we inhale, the air which we inhale contains a higher proportion of oxygen. In inhalation, the air mostly contain oxygen, the higher proportion of oxygen. Some of the oxygen of inhaled air is used up in breaking down glucose food during respiration. So the inhaled air which comes out after the process of respiration contains a lower proportion of oxygen. This exhaled air contains a less oxygen and then inhaled air. Okay. In case of carbon dioxide, the air which we inhale contains a lower proportion of carbon dioxide now during the respiration. The last slide shows, okay, respiration. When during oxygen breaks down glucose food, then some carbon dioxide is produced. Thus, exhaled air contains more carbon dioxide than inhaled air. Okay. So, inhaled air oxygen more contains than exhaled air carbon dioxide is more. Okay. In case of water vapor, the air which we inhale contains only a little of water vapor. When glucose is break down by oxygen during respiration, then water is also produced. So, the exhaled air contains a lot more water vapor than inhaled air. Okay. Then a small activity. The apparatus consists of two boiling tubes. Okay, the apparatus consists of two boiling test tubes and fitted with two hold cork. Okay, and fitted two hold corks. The boiling tubes are connected through a special type of glass tube. The left arm of glass tube is short, which goes in the boiling tube. The right arm of glass tube is long and dips in lime water in boiling tube. The boiling tube has another bent glass tube whose longer side dip in lime water. Okay, contain it. The boiling tube has also another short bent tube in it, which does not dip in lime water. We put a top end of a tube in mouth and breathe in and breathe out gently. When we breathe in, then the inhaled air, fresh air, enters the glass tube and passes through the lime water in boiling tube, and when we breathe out, then the exhaled air passes through the lime water in boiling tube. We continue the breathe in and breathe out for about 5 minutes. Okay. We will find that the lime water in boiling tube in which inhaled air is past turn milky only slightly, but the lime water in boiling tube turns milky applicable. This shows the less carbon dioxide is present in inhaled air, but much more carbon dioxide is present in exhaled air. Okay, a small topic. Why do we sneeze? You know that is sneeze. Yes? Okay, you know that is sneeze. As we inhale the air present in the surroundings, sometimes various unwanted elements are seen, such as smoke and dust are also included it. Okay. However, they get stuck in the air in our nostril, but some of them can get through the nasal cavity. Thus, they thus cause irritation, some irritation in our nose, in the nasal cavity, which make us sneeze. Okay, the irritation makes sneeze. This help in getting rid of unwanted particles out of the nasal cavity. Okay, the unwanted particles release the nostril. Okay, then smoking damage lungs. Smoking is damage for the lungs. Smoking is also linked to cancer, so it must be avoided. Okay, then we studied this classes respiration, mechanism of respiration. Okay, mechanism of respiration. Breathing is a part of the process of respiration. Inhalation and exhalation you studied. Okay, so next session we see breathing in other animals. Where you see this class, the human breathing, in humans breathing. Okay, lungs. Next class we see in other animals, cockroach, earthworms, fish and also plant like. Okay, so we read the passage, page number 111 to page number 115. Okay, the last slide shows the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide inhaled and exhaled air. Okay, and I already explained the previous one. Exhaled lungs release inhaled, during inhaled air lungs 21% of oxygen and 0.04% of carbon dioxide. Then exhaled air contains 16.4% of oxygen and 4.4% of carbon dioxide. You see the variation. Inhaled air oxygen richer இருக்குது, exhaled airல oxygen less-ஆ இருக்குது. அதே மாதிரி same time inhaled airல carbon dioxide less-ஆ இருக்குது, exhaled airல carbon dioxide greater. Okay, thank you.